It's growly.
well.
It's a little bit growly. It's good, but it's got a manual transmission, which is even better.
This is the M2.
The new one, the brand new M2. With, can I go there? Controversial styling.
Are we talking about styling already? That's all you see, right?
You walk up
It's
and
just
you see that it looks like this. And
Yes.
how do you feel about that? I got to be honest, I don't like how it looks. I thought I'd like it more in person. I don't think I do, but it drives really well.
Yeah, that's the deal. It's off-putting enough to make you think it doesn't drive well and you don't want to drive it. But the good news is when you're inside it, you don't have to look at it. Everybody else does, and you get to enjoy how good this car is. It's
It drives really, really well.
Great cars, great roads, and all the reasons we love to drive.
Road trips, comparisons, test drives, and podcasts. This is Everyday Driver.
I didn't expect it to be on this level. I really didn't.
Well, I read the stats that it got bigger all the way around. We weren't big fans of the M240 that we drove, which of course is the same thing but less hotted up.
Right.
And I was very concerned about it feeling just kind of muted and heavy, and this feels neither of the above. It weighs 3,800 pounds and does not feel like it.
Well, maybe at quarter exit. You've got to really push this hard to find the weight. That's how good the steering is, that's how good the inputs are, and that's how good the suspension is.
Yep,
The
agreed.
adaptive suspension is adapting. Lots of adaptingers going on here.
Yes.
Look at you hammering. Oh! And yes, you've got to have the
bumpy
manual.
road. Hang on. Bumpy road. Bumpy road. Bumpy road. Okay.
Duck so I don't
Hang
hit
in
the
there.
ceiling.
Yikes.
Oh.
Wow, and it's still doing it. I mean, it's just,
sticking, though.
this is an impressive car dynamically. The M folks, the M folks create magic. It's
do.
amazing the stuff that they can accomplish with whatever they're given. And this M2, I can't get with the styling. I can't. But when I drive it, I am consistently impressed.
This is 453 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque out of the S58 engine, which means it is the high-performance version of the B58 in the Supra. And this thing is sandbag. BMW is lying to us once again.
Yeah,
Do you
they
not
are.
think? There's so much power here.
Yeah, they always have power, it's instantly on tap. That's what BMW does with their turbo engines, is that power, whatever they claim it is all the time and instantaneous. And this is no different. And it has a lot of power to give. I don't really care what the numbers are. The answer is enough whenever you need it. Yeah.
This is the first time for me riding here, and it feels so impressive.
And you're in these
down.
amazing seats
Ooh.
that are part of the carbon fiber $10,000 package to get these seats.
Yes.
Which is ridiculous, but the seats are amazing.
Yeah, they're
no
truly
more amazing.
You have to get the carbon fiber seats. The carbon buckets, along with the carbon roof and the carbon interior trim.
Don't care about any
Just
of that.
pay.
Just the seats.
I don't care. Just pay. Pay all the money.
It's like a $10,000 seat option.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. They are great.
But they're 24 pounds lighter than the base seats, the regular seats. So get these seats.
Very thin, really impressive.
Oh, they're racing seats. And they've got this
they really feel
plinth,
great.
this buildup of carbon fiber right here between your legs. That's where the belt goes.
For your fifth point of your 5-point harness. Yeah, I hear you.
That's BMW telling us, the drivers, the owners, this is the car that you take to the track. Because
hopefully
you're almost driving in track-like conditions. Almost.
Yeah.
This is fast.
It's very fast. And it's easy. That's the thing about it, is it's really, really easy. Just going to turn around here for you.
That's fine. Cool, brakes. Whoa.
I wish it was prettier.
I do too.
Here's the interesting thing. The last M2, I never thought of as a gorgeous car. I liked it. On reflection, it's spectacular.
It's a beauty queen.
Once you get this next gen out, it's like, wow, the last M2 was attractive, which is really too bad.
Are you shopping for a BMW M2 of any model year? Use Autotempest.com to search all the car markets and even research inventory at dealers.
Autotempest helps you search nationwide across all the used car sites, including Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Plus, you can get email alerts so you never miss a listing.
We use it to research for our podcast, to search for crazy road trip cars, and just because we like to dream. And Autotempest can even help with new cars, pricing out the options and getting local dealer quotes. So if you're looking for an original, a competition, a CS, or a brand new M2, Autotempest.com/everyday can get you the help you need. Autotempest.com. All the cars, one search.
This is such a dynamic powerhouse, hanging out and hiding in this styling.
I wish it looked better too. The reason you don't like it is because BMW has introduced a rectilinear theme in a car where nothing else is boxy or square or rectangular.
Sure, yeah.
I understand intakes, all the performance, cooling, everything about the driveline needs cooling. We get that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be blocky and square. I feel like the sketches were great, and then applying in person, the proportions just didn't work, but BMW just kept going. They didn't stop themselves.
Nobody would,
There's not really a pretty angle on this car, but neither was the Nissan GTR when it came out. But people loved it and thought it was beautiful because of what it can do. And I'm wondering if this is in that category.
It's going to need to be, because it is that impressive, but it's not going to get by on looks alone. The issue that I have, though, is if you're spending better part of $75,000, doesn't it need to be attractive?
Yes, it does.
Doesn't it have to just have a sitting still in the parking lot sense
That's
of,
mine.
Wow, I have that. And this is going to get people that are going to buy it just because of the M2 badge, and they will get a fantastic car dynamically. There are also going to be those people, some of which may be typing right now, who are just going to say, no, man, I've gotten used to it. It looks great. I would be curious to know if anybody would find this car attractive if you didn't know what the brand was. If this were just new car, introduced by brand you'd never heard of, with the beginning I'd be like, that's a great looking car, because I think it gets by a little bit on the fact that it has that M badge and it says M2 on the back.
I see your point. Well, jumping into the inside, this is iDrive 8, and it is a large curved TV screen up front.
Yes, it is.
But this is the best it's ever been, and I actually really like it.
Okay.
It's easier to use than it's ever been. The instrumentation on BMWs has always been fussy and didn't make sense. I want to do something, and I can't get there by redundancy. I can't do touchscreen, I can't do the knob, I can't get there a variety of ways. This one you can. And the graphics are interesting and pretty. They're very informative and easy to use. Kudos to BMW for finally getting this right. I feel like it's taken years,
but
this is good.
When iDrive first came out, it was a disaster. It has steadily gotten better over time, and since they were out early, they've been a little bit ahead of the pack for a long, long time. But now they are creating, to your point, a lot of different ways for you to do each thing, which means you can kind of like pick your program like Photoshop, for example, where you can do anything a million different ways. This now has that variety. I think BMW has been very good at their iDrive working well, but it has to only work one way. This has now got variety.
Yeah.
What's your approach? And that works nicely.
Except for one thing, and that is the climate. You got to dig for the recirc button, and then you have to memorize the lower part of this screen is the climate menu. If you want something, you've got to touch that and then go dig for whatever it is you're looking for. There are no buttons or knobs down here. You've got the volume knob, the track selection, and then defrost. That's it.
Yeah,
There's nothing else.
Right.
Everything down here really has to do with the car's performance.
Yes.
I mean, aside from the iDrive here, but it's all about the performance here.
Totally.
It's kind of what you want, and I do understand it cleans it up. I would like something more here to just get down into the quick, a recirc button, quick, a fan speed knob, something.
Totally.
Is it time to hoon?
Now it's the fun part.
It's time to hoon.
By the way, Paul mentioned earlier that the seats, these tiny little thin seats, do happen to be heated. They aren't cooled because they have giant holes. You will see when we get out. They have holes in them, so there's no reason to cool them.
It occurred
it's
to me,
irrelevant.
like, why didn't BMW make them cooled? Ah.
That would be why.
I'm
You'll
an
see.
idiot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My confession is this. Because I know what this car can do, I know how good it drives, it's better in my mind.
It's growing on you.
It's not pretty.
It's growing on you, isn't it? Yep.
But it has grown a touch.
That is how really dynamically awesome it is that you start to go, well, could I decide I like it?
Could I like it?
Is the personality so good that you don't care the person's ugly? That exists.
I can learn to love you.
That's a real thing.
Oh my gosh.
It's a real thing. I love you, and nobody else thinks you're attractive. I know how amazing you are, and I find you gorgeous. That exists in the world.
Gap insurance is your prenup agreement.
That may be required for the BMW M2. You just look past the looks and just go, I know what's on the inside. There you go.
All right, so on your steering wheel, you've got M1 and M2 buttons, but then down here under Setup, you can push that, and this is where you turn on all the goodness. Engine up to Sport Plus, you hear the exhaust kind of go crazy.
Yep.
I tried Sport Plus on the chassis, and that was too stiff for anything but track. And that's just it.
We've been on some bumpy roads today, for sure.
If you don't track this car, you did it wrong.
You're missing out.
Once again.
I can't imagine what the consumables will be on this because it's not light, and the brakes are huge, and the tires are expensive, but it is going to be brilliant.
Can't imagine replacing tires.
Yeah.
275 front width, 285 in the rear, staggered fitment, of course. This thing just hangs on.
Yep.
You'll be surprised from corner to corner. Well, gosh, it did that one. I wonder what the next one is like. I wonder if I came in even hotter. It's that GTR thinking that we discovered way back when. That was no issue for this car. Wonder if I came in a little bit faster this time.
What should I try next time? Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bending physics, but as I was driving this car, the thought occurred to me that this shouldn't be as good as it is weighing 3,800 pounds.
Yes.
It should not drive as nimbly. It should not be as fast. Nothing about this should be good dynamically when we're approaching 4,000 pounds in a sports car.
It's way too heavy, and it's significantly bigger, too.
It's the opposite of sports car thinking.
Yes, agreed.
BMW added weight and made it quicker, faster, handle better, and actually really fun to drive. How is that possible? What have they done? What did the M people do?
They make amazing things out of questionable source material. That's the thing they consistently do.
All right, decreasing radius.
Big time.
Ooh. See, it just hangs on.
Yep.
Ugh. Oh my gosh.
It's easy. It's very
too
quick.
easy.
It's very quick.
Does this car need us?
Well, I mean,
can't decide if it needs you, us, anybody.
I mean, that's the GTR problem as well, is the fact that it's so capable that the average person can get unbelievable things out of it. The upper limit of this car scares me a little bit. Not the idea of getting there. It's the fact that you would get there and then all of a sudden be way too far past things most people could catch. That's what strikes me about it. I mean, there is so much capability here that once you reach the bleeding edge, it could all go catastrophically wrong because it is so quick,
sure it could.
so easily.
But everything up until that point is
short of disaster, it is brilliant.
Everything below disaster. Figure out what'll kill me and back it off a little. I think there's a setting somewhere in there. For that.
Just short of dying button. Yes.
Find disaster and then we'll just dial it one back and then we're good. That's the M2.
Yep.
This car should not be this good. I can't believe I'm reading the stats and no longer can we look at weight and say, you know what, it's too heavy. It can't perform really well. It shouldn't because it weighs too much.
It defies its statistics. It
obviously depends on the car, but BMW has proven weight wrong.
Yep, you're right.
Weight is wrong.
Right. That's so bizarre.
What I love about the steering is the precision, and the active M differential can lock up 100%, or it can distribute that torque between the two rear wheels in a variable way, and it makes this car so precise. The problem is, there's no road feel. It's that old BMW thing. There's no road feel here whatsoever.
It dives in.
The car is so precise.
Yes, agreed.
Okay, so you want an M2.
You do.
Just hold your nose and close your eyes and buy one.
You want an M2 if you have a blindfold until you're driving. Somebody leads you to the car, sets you down, pulls off the blindfold, and you go, I'm ready.
Feeling in the dark. What is this car?
The start button a little bit more to the right. Okay, blindfold off, hit the start button. Have a great day.
Here, feel down low. Is that an M2? Are you trying to sell me an M2? No, why would I do that?
Because it is good to drive.